Greetings and salutations, universe. This is Creeta, and this is Omnifactory. Nom 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 nom. He. Now, in the last episode, recently, we got the superconductor coil blocks, and I think they are almost the best ones that we can have. There is just one more, and that requires some pretty crazy components, including some neutron reflectors that take 200 seconds at a very difficult level. Beryllium tungsten, I might be able to make that, but I don't know if I necessarily want to. Anyway, and I've been working on sort of getting the infrastructure together to be able to replace most of our coils. Now, it's not really necessary on a block where we already have coils, because they don't make it faster from my understanding. It just increases our heating capacity. But in the event that this new block requires any, then we have that option. At least that's my thinking. Wow, that didn't work at all. Oh, there it is. Beautiful. So I'm just gonna plonk in a few of these and just call it gravy for a minute, and hopefully in some good time we'll be able to get this entire section full, and that will be thanks to a new little section. This is an ugly machine, but it's basically Cobbleworks makes gravel to sand to glass, and then back here I was terrible, and there's some nether quartz production back here. It's pretty fantastic, and it is more passive than what we were doing before. Before we were relying on the basement, and this is terrible. This is not good. I shouldn't have done this. My bad. Anyway, so in this episode, I think I want to sort of focus on what we were doing last time and try and get the sterilized growth medium, and maybe just sort of get to at least get that producing. And then I want to try and get the Nequata bools into SOCs complete, and the SOCs themselves, so that we can make the improved circuits right there. That's at least the goal, and maybe we can work towards a ZPM assembling machine. Yeah? Yeah. Alright, so we have our meat. We have the pork chops, unfortunately farmed, but that's okay. And we're going to be pulverizing that into mince, and then does it get pulverized again? Or do we have to turn that into... Yeah, there we go. So we need the mince in whole sections, which probably will use a packager. And I just realized, really should have put that ugly cobble gen down in my ugly room, but that's okay. And just like that, we have a system up and operational. Everything has a automatic shut-off, except for the distillery. I totally forgot that we have distilled water in the system. Moving on. Anyway, we have a mixer, right? This is getting sugar, minced meat, tiny piles of salt, some distilled water. The minced meat is coming from the unfortunately farmed pork chops. These get put into a packager. The packager basically takes the tiny piles, makes it into full piles. The full piles are apparently required for the mixer, and the mixer makes our raw medium. We'll see that momentarily. There we go. And this guy is heating it up into sterilized growth medium, which then gets pushed back into our system. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, I did miss out on the quest ding, but that's okay. Let's move along to something a little bit more interesting, like Nequata doped bools. Block of silicone, Nequata ingot, argon. And I think I may have already set up the argon. Haha! And just like that, we already have one. Haha! Quest? Hey, there it is. Nequata bools. Excellent. These guys need to basically get turned into the doped wafers. Thankfully, we get 64 of those. And then we can use the precision laser and basically upgrade all of our recipes to use this instead of the other ones. But what we can do with this is get AOCs using Draconium lens, and using Nether Star ones we can get SOCs. These guys are pretty fantastic. We can change all of the recipes if we want to and get a ton more of the basic circuits and not be using things like gallium. And it can also help us save in a whole lot of areas. Like RAM, we used to get 4 of those per wafer. Now we get 8, right? This is all over the board. This is power IC, so we can replace that to get 4 times as many. Oh, it is absolutely marvelous. Super, super happy. Which one's CPU? There we go. 4 times as many. Oh, this is great. It is kind of strange that we need to use a draconium block to get a lens with primal mana, but that's okay. At least we can make just a good old-fashioned normal nether star one in normal good old water. Oh well, that's cool. But Nequata wafers are coming along well. And there we have it. It should be as simple as calling some SOCs. Now these do need to get cut down and all that jazz. They get turned into those. Not too sure how... Oh, that's not so bad. That was actually quite quick. So we have advanced SOCs and normal SOCs. These are systems on a chip. Hello, please grab them. This is also kind of what's going on with the chip shortage at the moment. These simply don't exist. Do we need the wafers? Really? 10, please. Start. 10, please. Start. SOC. Boop. And advanced SOC. Quests? Hello. Aha. Quest complete. So that takes care of that quest and that one there. Excellent. Now, what do we require for these? We have the H-picks. We should have everything we need. What about draconium plates? Plates, it's already loaded on that. We don't have the draconium, I think. I guess we could search for it. So we'll just have to get that sorted. Is that really just compressing down an ingot? I can definitely get behind that. Boop. And where, oh where do the compressors come from? I'm not even going to look for it in the system. The system's getting kind of big. But we'll plop that in there, and it should be as simple as calling for that particular circuit. Which one is it? Crystal Processing Circuit Array. Hello? System. Excuse me. There you go. Crystal Processor. We need the processor array, please. Array. The blue one. Dark blue one. There we go. Assembling line. You require a new recipe for the packagers. Now, this is a little bit frustrating that we can't update these as readily as I would like to, but considering how powerful they are, I think that we can make an exception with our understanding. So we're going to click here, boop, and save, I think. It should be as simple as that. Do I have those? I hope so. I don't know. Let's go find out. So, over here, after we get hurt a little bit, plonk it in there, jump up here, and plonk it in there, and we should be able to call for a processing array. Please? Please, pretty please? We don't have high picks? Really? Could have sworn that we did. Cutting saw, indium gallium. I don't think we did that. I certainly didn't make liquid red alloy. That is frustrating. Thanks, Greg Tech. Then again, thank you, Greg Tech. Look at all this amazing stuff around us. The machinery is really cool. I love it. Couldn't be happier. Red alloy is kind of ridiculous. The beautiful thing about quests that annoy you is you can just divert your eyes to something else, like draconic stem cells. So these things are going to take dragon eggs and that sterilized growth medium that we just made, and we're going to get draconic stem cells. I think that's pretty cool. So I think what we're going to do is, probably just set up an automatic system like we normally do, and that's going to require a chemical reactor. Do we have LUE? We do. And we're just going to make this passively. Hopefully we don't need a ton of them right off the get-go, but it should be pretty easy to set up. Just going down into the ugly area, might as well put it right here. And now, considering the use case of these dragon eggs, let's take a quick peek at them. We are going to need them for whatever the heck celestial manipulators are. Looks like it might be used in fusion crafting. Yeah, just a little bit. But we don't need a ton of these, so I don't see an issue with just plonking them into the reactor manually and walking away, right? So in 5 minutes we'll have draconic cells, or I can just have them right now by waiting a little while. Where are they? What? Hey. Dang it. Seriously confused. That had to be 5 minutes. Distract on white. Interface. North. Ah. There's always a reason. There's always a reason. There's always a reason. There's always a reason why your draconic stem cells don't show up in your system. It looks like I also spelt it wrong, but there we go. Draconic stem cells. I'm sleepy. As evidence of being very sleepy, indium gallium phosphide. It's already in our system. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. Not sure why there's such a small amount of it, but that's okay. We're not going to think about that. Red alloy ingot. Just melt it, right? That should work. Why should that not work? Now, in moments when you're not sure if you're going to use a lot of something I like to do is make a little bit of it, and then when you run out, make more. No, but seriously, it's a way of thinking, right? Is how often am I actually going to need high picks? I'm going to find out. It isn't a ton, but there is a chance. Oh, we need a cell. There we go. Lots of fluids this episode. There's a chance that we can melt, say, about a stack of blocks, and the system will just be fantastic. So fluid auto output, it spits it out. Now it's in our system, and we should be able to then basically call a high pick once we have it programmed, right? And a stack of that just made 80 buckets, and that's something like 240-ish high picks. So, you know, and that then is about 500 of the actual circuits. The actual circuits get turned into a lot of those, and then we only need them for crystals by the looks of it, and then some very specific things. So is it a thing that I need to automate right now? Possibly not. So just a stack, and I could always, you know, just pull out. Hey, get the block. Hello. Right? I can always just whoop, yoink. And now I have double what I did before, and I didn't even have to automate anything. Isn't that nice? I think it's lovely. Right. So high pick thingamabobbers EV takes 60 seconds. I don't like that. We're probably gonna go with a chemical reactor. LUV, lovely, thank you, beautiful. LUV, boop, and I think that stuff can go back in there. And now that a chemical reactor is here, and the recipe is there, and some more recipes are there, hopefully we should be able to order the crystal processor array that we've been waiting on. That makes the high pick right there, and start. So things are happening all over the place, specifically probably right here, though I imagine it's already done. And now it's probably making the crystal processors. I guess it is, because that's what it says here. And it's also making our crystal CPUs. So can I figure out, hey, crystal, type properly, right? These things take a little bit. They're about 5 seconds, but I'm a little bit alarmed that it took that long. That's okay. And we can see, I would hope that we'd be able to see that machine on, but what can you do? Scheduled 1. What's the problem? There's always a problem. It's your job to figure it out. It looks like we tried to call some stuff and we need to allow input from output side. It's always the tiniest thing, isn't it? It's always the tiniest thing. Teensy tiny thing. And this takes the most time, right? And we just saw that machine turn green, it turned off, and now in our system we should see a crystal processing array. This is our second tier 7 circuit? I don't know. But that's another quest complete, and that's very exciting. The first tier 8 circuits. Huh. I think we can make that. I really should have checked that recipe before I committed to this, but that's okay. So yoink, and where did the 2 go? There they are. We want to take this slot and make the crystal mainframe thingamabobber. Boop, and boop. Does this have any alternate recipes? I don't think so. So, jumping on back. Ah! Whee! I love this teleporting pickaxe. Does anyone else have a tool that they just love to use and it's kind of fun to zip around with? Because this thing is just monumental. That's kind of... What? No. Frame. We have a bunch of frames, but we don't have that one. That's okay, because now we do, and I just ordered that without realizing it. That's the wrong one. I ordered a quantum processing mainframe. Dang it. Well, that's okay. Can we order one of these now? Nope. Why not? Oh, come on. There's always something. There is always something. It's impossible to avoid the plethora of things that pop up when we do this, right? But that's okay, because now there's no questions about whether I can hit start on that and wait inevitably for the quantum one to finish before we get to this one. But this one has a lot of things to do, right? It needs to make crystal CPUs, it needs to make multiple of the processing arrays that we just waited for already. Meanwhile, this thing is making power ICs, and now it's making quantum processor arrays. I think that is over there. You can see the green light is on, and momentarily it's going to turn off, and that's going to mean that we have the mainframes that we don't need, and it's going to get along to crafting the mainframe that we do need. Eh? Ah. Meanwhile, we're doing something wrong. I've worked really hard to avoid issues like this, but we're currently running at 5 TPS. I mean, it might be the computer at this point and not my lag hunting, but there is our crystal mainframe. How awesome is that? Eh? That is fantastic. Now, we're going to put this mainframe to good use in a future episode, specifically one where, oh hey, we have our TPS back. See, look at that. It got very grumpy trying to craft that, and that means that we need to improve our infrastructure. So, I hope that you enjoyed this kind of quirky episode where we bumbled our way through and eventually made it through to our very first Tier 8 circuit. Huh. I think That means I can get rid of a whole bunch of recipes involving the quantum ones, I think. Yeah, that's gonna be good. Alright, this has been Creeta playing Omnifactory. I hope you are doing splendidly, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye!